When they track you down, you, your entire family, everyone you ever knew will all get chainsaw enemas. And that's not all. Oh, my God. I've been abducted by Huey and Dewey. Jesus Christ! It smells like a toilet in here.
We clean this place all up. We scrub down here for hours, down on our hands and knees, for God's sake.
My husband worships the ground I walk on! When he hears about this, he will explode!
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Oh, my goodness.
2021, huh?
Up to a great start.
Yeah, we sure are. Is our second show of the new year?
Yeah, and this
Just as wild.
this is going up tomorrow, so we're recording this hot.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, we are coming in hot with this. This is pretty much live. But
Well, first,
my name's Pete,
and I'm Scott, and these are
the
the movies that made us gay.
Yay!
Pete,
Yes.
we have Ben back on the show from TCM.
Yay! Ben Cheaves, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
From
Definitely.
TCM programmer and the YouTube show Slumberground, right?
Yes.
Slumberground?
Slumberground. It's our new...
And you guys just did When a Stranger Calls.
Yeah, we did. We just did it last night.
That's going to be a fun
Yeah.
episode. I love that movie.
coming out.
That's
Next
like
week.
Scott's favorite movie.
It's a crazy one, right?
Yeah, it's nuts.
And you did fit in a viewing of When a Stranger Calls Back.
We did.
Because
I had not seen
me...
it. It was my first time seeing it, and man,
Oh, wow.
I loved it. It was so much fun.
So, guest of the show and friend of the pod, Ashley Cassidy from Keep It Weird, we fucking love that movie. I remember
Calls
watching...
or calls back?
Calls Back.
Oh, my God.
I remember when you were asleep one night, and I got home really late from work, around midnight, and I put it on, and I screamed at the ending of that movie. In our dark apartment all alone. Shrieked.
That brick wall reveal is a jumper.
It's pretty bananas.
I screamed when Carol Kane showed up because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I gay gasped and screamed.
Also, Carol Kane just playing Clarice Starling.
Totally Silence of the Lambs.
She's left her she's left her husband and kids, and she has this beautiful loft.
Oh, my goodness.
And yeah.
Charles,
And she's just living out her Sounds to the Lambs fantasy.
And Charles Durning is pieces it together, that ventriloquist connection.
Mm-hmm.
And then goes to the topless ventriloquist bar where he's reciting nihilistic beat poetry.
What?
Yeah.
This movie has
we
it
should
all.
we should just
How
do it
have I
on the
not
show eventually.
seen this? Well, listeners, we're not doing it today. We're doing a different movie.
We're doing Ruthless People from 1986, directed by Jim Abrams and David and Jerry Zucker.
Yes, indeed.
I always forget this is a Zucker movie.
This is Abraham's Zucker movie.
And it's one of the few Zucker movies that they did not write.
Right.
This script was
Okay.
brought to them by Michael Eisner of Disney, who read the script.
What?
And he just had them in mind.
Oh, you were
and
blowing
they
my
made
mind.
a rare exception of doing a movie that they didn't write and produce.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not like the their other stuff is Airplane and Top Secret. They had just done Top Secret,
Yeah.
so it's all those 10 gags a minute type scripts.
Yes, and listeners, if you're not familiar, Abraham Zucker, they're the two Zucker brothers and their directing partner. That they directed these spoof movies, Airplane and Top Secret, which I feel like people are sleeping on.
I
Top
love
Secret.
Top Secret.
I love
Top Secret.
That's my favorite when he does the Elvis
Yeah.
dance routine in the bar,
Oh
and
my
spins on the rugs.
And the white tuxedo jacket, yes. My, movies that made us gay, patron saint, my older sister Amy, introduced me to this movie, and she just fell in love with Val Kilmer and how cute he was in Top Secret.
When he does
Yeah.
how silly can you get? That song is just so good.
My God, it's so good. Is that the one where he hugs her and he's got the acoustic guitar
Yeah.
and he crushes it in between?
Yeah. And the girls are just like crying, like wetting themselves.
Oh my god, yes. Well, we are also not reviewing that movie today, but go out and find Top Secret. Exactly. Top Secret is on and off Amazon Prime, I feel like. You can probably find it and stream it somewhere. It comes and goes. But this movie is not quite as like spoof-tastic as those movies, but there were some moments that we're watching and I was like, that's a Zucker Brothers gag.
Yeah, it's lots of
there were some
comedy,
visual gags.
Like,
yeah. But this movie, it's a lot more subtle than those, but this movie is still very... I don't know. It's not over the top, but there's a lot going on in Ruthless People.
It plays it pretty broad.
And so, it was written by Dale Launer, I guess. I'm not sure how you say his name. But he did Dirty Rotten Scoundrels after this, and My Cousin Vinny. And so, like, it's very... I didn't realize it until watching this time, really. But yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of the same thing, like, horrible, ruthless, rotten... horrible people.
Yeah, definitely. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels totally fits in with this kind of... subject
he also
matter.
wrote Love Potion number 9
Did he?
with Sandy and Tate Donovan.
Tate Donovan.
I love Love Potion number 9.
Yeah, that's one of Scott's all-time faves.
I've seen that. Is it as dark? But I
No,
don't know. Okay,
not at all.
No.
It's a more kind of straightforward romantic comedy.
Sure. Okay, that's what I thought.
But with a magical twist.
Yeah.
There's no magic in this movie, but there is Bette Midler. But let me say this about Bette Midler in this movie. Not enough.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
So she had just come back from being, like, pretty much, like, blacklisted in Hollywood after her... You know, she made The Rose, which I'm sad to say I've never seen.
I've never seen it either.
I've seen it.
I was trying to think, like, why I hadn't seen it, and I just sort of, like... I think I hate that era of the 70s. It's very, like, Meatloaf. Like, she's, like... It's, like... What's that Jim Steinman, like... type of like rock and roll production. I'm like, as a kid,
she's
I
playing
that.
like a Lady Meatloaf in that movie.
But isn't it sort of like the Janie Joplin,
Janie Joplin version of
the Janie Joplin story of Jane Joplin
of Janis Joplin?
Yeah,
it's that
Janis Joplin by way of Lady Meatloaf. That's how it plays in my head.
Like, I think you're absolutely right.
They couldn't get the rights to Janis Joplin's story like Jenna Maroney's movie.
But hey, it scored her a Best Actress nomination. Yeah. And talk about this blacklist that happened afterwards.
Well, so after this, she did Jinx, which I've never seen, and I tried to hunt it down and like could not find it. Yeah. But it was apparently like a bomb, and she was like a total diva on the set and like fought with the producers and was like super demanding. And then it bombed, and everyone hated her. So she didn't do anything for like years, and like had a nervous breakdown. I went through like a YouTube like black hole and watched all the Bette Midler Entertainment Tonight things that I could find.
So I watched an old Today Show interview where they alluded to that, and it got a little awkward. In that portion of the interview,
I think she just sort of like she ruffled the feathers of like the male producers by being like a woman who wanted to like control her movie, and she got struck down for that. And so she's very grateful to I can't remember who directed the Down Out in Beverly Hills, but that was like her big chance. Like someone gave her another chance to make a movie, and she had a kind of a small part in that too. And then Ruthless People was made like right on the heels of that, like at the same time.
And she got a picture deal with Disney at this time. That it was like 4 movies with Touchstone, which was like their adult entertainment. Well, we shouldn't say adult entertainment. Right. it's their movies that are kind of the more adult fare that are not for kids.
Totally. Yeah.
I haven't revisited Down and Out in Beverly Hills in a while, but I guess you're right. Her role in that is probably. I mean, I guess it's all about Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss and Nick Nolte, right? And then she's. Yeah. I mean, like. Even as a kid, when I saw it, I was like, who's Bette Midler? Like,
we need more of her.
I was like, who's this wife that's like shopping, riding around LA, and like getting like orgasmic massages?
It's Paul Mazursky who directed Down in Beverly Hills. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because Ruthless People is 1986. I have very early memories of this movie because my dad, who was 28, 29 years old at the time, took me and my sister to the movies to see this.
He's got the kids on the weekend.
Yeah,
you're going to the movies.
It was Dad's weekend, and Dad's weekend was, we're going to go to IHOP, we're going to look through the paper and find a movie, and we're going to go to the movies.
Oh,
and,
jealous.
So he wanted to see movies too, so he picked this movie, and me, 8 years old, is just like so pissed that we're watching this movie that I have no idea what it is. And she scared me a little.
Sure.
Because that's her arc.
She brings a lot of energy to that. Yeah.
Yes, she does. But my memory was, I was very pouty when my dad and my sister agreed to this movie because I was just like, it's not like Pee-wee's Big Adventure for the fourth time,
right?
So so I was upset. And afterwards, my dad was just like, and I think I've told this story on the podcast before. Afterwards, my dad was just like, "So what'd you think? Did you hate it as much as you thought you would?" And I was just like, my 9-year-old self was like, "I got to tell you, I liked it."
I approve, Dad.
I approve,
I'm
Dad.
jealous. I think I had that experience with going to see Legal Eagles.
Legally, yes, with Daryl Hannah.
I was looking at the top 10 at the box office, and Legal Eagles is on it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
what else is on there? What was I mad that I didn't see?
This box office is out of control. You probably would have wanted to go see Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Again, yeah, I saw it
again.
3 times.
Top Gun was still making money.
Yeah.
Actually,
Legal Eagles.
When I went to go see Legal Eagles, my dad wanted to go see Top Gun, and I was like, that doesn't look good. And I wanted to see Legal Eagles. And so my dad left me alone in the theater to watch Legal Eagles while he went and watched Top Gun. And
little did you know.
I know.
Little did you know about the beach scene.
That was the gayer option at the time.
Can I tell you that every one of my boy classmates that year had a Top Gun birthday party, and I was just like, snooze.
I did not like it as a kid. I was like,
I was not into it. And I went to all the Top Gun birthday parties that I got invited to, but I was just very much like,
there was not a unless you're playing volleyball, what are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
So number 1 at the box office this weekend was The Karate Kid Part 2.
Oh, there you go.
And this movie opened with Labyrinth. And Labyrinth, I believe, was kind of a bust when it came out in the theaters too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, it came out the same day as Labyrinth.
My mom took me to see Labyrinth, and it was just me and her. She was like, "He'll like this movie."
Well, I think the first time I saw Ruthless People was from the video store. Getting to go on Friday nights to go pick our movies for the weekend, and so I probably didn't see it till a year later because it took forever to come out.
Oh, yeah, that time, yeah.
But yeah, that and we had Showtime, so whenever they would come on Showtime, I'd just be like, all right, well, this is what I'm watching for the next 3 months, 4 times a day.
Do you remember just instantly being loving it, or what were your thoughts on it?
I think it was just sort of a movie that was on all the time, and I loved it. It was funny, and I loved Bette Midler at the time. I was probably just she's awesome. I'm any character who gets a makeover midway through, I'm gonna you've already you've captured my heart. But I remember around this time, because this is right before Outrageous Fortune, and then she did Big Business, and I remember by the time she did Big Business, we had a thing for the first day of school, where you write what's your favorite movie, your favorite actress, or whatever. So, and I picked Bette Midler. I was and I defended it to everyone. I was she can do anything.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
She has the drama. She can do comedy.
So yeah, whatever. I was 10 years old and being
I mean, right? Yeah. And Scott.
So my only relationship with this movie, I first saw this yesterday.
Oh wow!
So this has been a movie that I've been meaning to get to for most of my life.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would always see the video box at the video store, and also my aunt. When I would go over to her house and look through her tapes, she had it. She had the VHS of the animated, the cartoon,
pop art cover,
the pop art drawing.
Yeah, it's very kid, magnetic to a kid,
But
it's got those duck masks
and
But for some reason, when I would be a child and look at this movie, I would be like, I don't know, this looks a little subversive. I don't know if this is really for kids. So I would just end up watching The Dark Crystal for the 20th time.
Sure. Well, you're not wrong. I mean, it's definitely there. I had no business watching this movie as a child. None of us did.
Sure.
There. Yeah, there are a lot of. I mean, we're gonna get there.
I have to tell you about I remembered my confusion as a kid.
Okay. Because I feel like, to me, the humor, the dark humor, all that stuff, I wasn't affected by. I wasn't just like gasping my pearls that, Danny DeVito wanted to murder his wife and all of that stuff. I don't feel like affected me. I feel like that all went over my head. The bare breastises just like on full display.
Sure.
That woman getting railed in that car.
I was so confused by that as a kid. I was like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, is she dying? I didn't understand that kind of sex as a
And that's the joke. They're playing it for that humor of Bill Pullman thinks that she's being, assaulted. And we as kids are like, what is going on? And then also, it's the principal from Head of the Class. So, I know this guy is like, he's on my TV and on prime time. So I'm just, that is the most confusing thing about this. But aside from, Danny DeVito, Bette Midler, Bill Pullman.
Oh, God.
I mean, 30-year-old Bill Pullman.
Oh, yeah, he can get it. I'm very attracted to trashy Bill Pullman in this movie.
So I love that they do that, 80s trope of making him, Miami Vice.
Yes.
They just dress him in pastels and a sports jacket. And I was thinking, okay, what's the 2020 version of a himbo? What would be, your go-to thing? It would be, someone who does, TikTok videos, or, what would he be doing? A social media influencer type.
Yeah, who is he emulating? Yeah. This character, he even has his fish in his fish tank in his trailer are named Crockett and Tubbs. I love that.
Living in this trailer that looks like Brad Pitt lived in it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Wrote that down. I was like, he's in Brad Pitt's Cliff's trailer.
That's amazing.
I don't think that he was living next to the drive-in.
Right.
No. I think. Well, they showed.
Is it for the highway?
It cut right off of the 10, and it was wasn't it Overland or Cloverfield or something? It's out on the west side. I love when they specifically show that. I was like, I can track that. I can name that tune. I can drive us there in 35 minutes.
Did you Zillow his trailer?
Right, his trailer. No, we didn't Zillow the trailer, but guess what? We did Zillow Danny DeVito and Bette Midler's house.
Zillowed the mansion.
Scott just sent me that. It is amazing.
I was curious if they've shot other movies there, and I couldn't find it out.
I was going to ask.
This mansion is
it was brand new when they were filming it. It was built in '86.
And so we can now talk about the way that it's decorated, which is kind of
oh my god,
the an unofficial character of the movie. It's so
I was
amazing.
Just gonna say that. I was gonna say it's the fifth Sex and the City character. It's New York City. It is a character in this movie. It's that 80s.
So it's the Memphis
Lisa Frank.
It's the Memphis style. I know that you guys talked about it with the Pee-wee's Playhouse, and it's that's an obsession of mine. I love it, and it's so. But it's not actual. It's a rip-off of that style that had just started.
Okay.
And so, and it was Italian designers doing this kind of over-the-top, super uncomfortable type of furniture, and it was thinking outside the box, whatever the box of furniture,
right?
Of being what can a bookshelf be? Kind of postmodern,
yeah.
And lamps that look like a person. But this is basically a knockoff of this. I always thought that it was Memphis furniture, but it's just a knockoff because they were
okay,
these are the kind of Nouveau Riche assholes, who would own this type of furniture, and actually I was reading,
but they're getting it discount wholesale at a swap meet or something.
Yeah. But that shot when Danny DeVito comes home and they just do a tracking shot through the house and as a kid I was I want that, I want that, I want that, and
those stairs in that house.
Yeah, and those when Danny DeVito, there's a moment at the end when he sits in that chair and his legs are so short that he sits up in the air and his the back pillow makes him just slide down.
That little chair was the one thing where I was that furniture looks so uncomfortable. None of you can't just sit down and relax and just watch a movie. No.
Right. And so I was trying to remember, and I figured out today that there's another movie. also from 1986, Out of Bounds with like Anthony Michael Hall. That kind of like thriller cop movie that he did. But he meets this like punk rock girl in LA, and they go back to her apartment, and she has like this like the entire apartment looks like Memphis architecture. Sure. And she's got some like pieces in there, and I'm like, she's like this like scummy punk rock kid that would never be able to.
How is she?
How is she affording any of
the
this?
The art designer was just like, I don't care, I'm getting this in here.
It's just like, listeners, if you're still not sure what this aesthetic is, it's like every Trapper Keeper you ever had.
Yes.
The 80s have just come alive.
Yeah, it's every like comforter that you had for your twin daybed.
Right.
It's that. I just remember halogen lamps.
Oh, yes. That one black one, the Art Deco black one, the dimmer.
Yeah.
Do you remember how much it smelled when a fly got caught in one of those and burned?
Yeah.
And then it just smelled.
Screws would like, it would come like where it would screw together in the middle, when eventually the screw would wear off and like just start falling over.
Yeah. And weren't those light bulbs like crazy expensive too? Weren't halogen light bulbs like not cheap?
Oh yeah, if you broke it, your mom was really mad.
Yeah. I feel like halogen light bulbs are also like terrible for the environment.
Sure.
I'm sure
that tracks.
I feel like I read that.
That's why
like
we're
they're
in the mess
real bad. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, halogen light bulbs.
So we should probably set up the story of this movie, because this is kind of a conventional kidnapping movie.
Sure.
Of Danny DeVito just really wants to get rid of his wife. He's going to kill her, and then surprise, surprise, she's kidnapped.
Well, I think the idea is, like, the core base idea is really smart.
Sure.
Yes.
You know, he's having an affair with this, like, Anne Wedgeworth-looking woman.
Played by movies that made us gay all-star from Smokey Mountain Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Who is this actress? Anita Morris.
And she also, I didn't realize this, I don't remember it, but Fox did a Down and Out in Beverly Hills TV show. And she played Bette Midler in the TV show.
Oh my god! I have vague memories of the TV spinoff.
I looked up a clip on YouTube, and it is very much a Fox TV show ripping off a movie in 1986.
I love it. So Danny DeVito's character is this like sleazy nouveau riche guy. He's having an affair with this woman, and they're talking about how he hates his wife, you know, and he's going to kill her, right? But then when he goes home, chloroform in hand,
right? Driving out of the car.
Trying to find her in this gigantic house.
This mansion, which, he can't find her. Turns out she's already been kidnapped. And so he's like, perfect, she's been kidnapped. They want me to pay this ransom, and if I don't pay the ransom, they'll kill her. Perfect. I won't pay the ransom. They'll just kill her. The kidnappers are played by the adorable Helen Slater and Judge Reinhold.
Love them.
Helen Slater's second appearance on this podcast. Supergirl.
Yes, indeed. We did Supergirl already. But, I mean, I've never really been like, oh, Judge Reinhold, he can melt my butter or whatever. But in this movie, he's really cute. Like, I feel like he's super cute in this movie.
For kind of this awful situation and what were they thinking, you kind of sympathize for him.
Yes. And Helen Slater, I love it. She just has this, like, Linda Hamilton in the first Terminator, like, shag, like, haircut, you know?
Yeah, she's totally sweet and, like, gullible.
Yes.
And she plays it well.
Yeah, she plays it really well. And when we find out why they kidnapped her, you're just like, okay, I'm on board with these two, you know.
They got screwed over for business reasons over the spandex miniskirt.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Which, do you remember Multiples from the 80s? Like Multiples and Units? It was like that women's clothing stuff. Like, I felt like it was very much that.
So he's in like fashion or textiles then.
Yeah,
right?
I feel like he's in like manufacturing, and then like she brought this idea to the boss, and he was like, great, and he took it, ran with it, stole it, and like he made a mint, and they're just stuck in this, like, they're presenting this hovel that they live in, this shack, which any of us in 2021 are just like, I one day can hopefully
these type of modest houses in Los Angeles probably go for a couple million. I think this house that they shot at was in Venice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you guys got real estate in LA, you're doing okay.
Yeah, it's a house. It's like a little cute craftsman. There's like, what do you call it? Like built-ins.
Yeah.
Shelving units, their kitchen's cute. I'm just like, okay.
When I watched it this time too, I was actually noticing their house that like, I feel like the art direction was like really like on point. Like made the Bette Midler and Danny DeVito's home like the kind of like nouveau rich throwback to like the 50s furniture and stuff like that. They're really tacky, expensive stuff. And then they have the kind of like more authentic like 50s and 60s stuff. Like their bathroom looks like the kind of dated 60s that if you would, had an older house in the 80s, we would have the leftovers of that. And then the Bill Pullman and the redheaded hussy, I can't remember her name.
Yes.
Like theirs is like the middle class version of it. It's like they've got like vertical blinds and like gold lamps and stuff. But like I was like this is very clever. They kind of like painted each character with the furniture.
True. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Sorry.
So this story also has a setup that is very similar to a short story that I just remembered that I read this in high school today. Have you guys ever heard of The Ransom of Red Chief by O. Henry?
Oh, I read that was an influence, but I...
So that story is that these bandits kidnap this bratty child, and the parents are glad to be rid of him, and they don't want to pay the kidnapper.
Sure.
And the kidnappers end up giving money to the parents to take
him back,
the child back. So it kind of takes that similar setup, and it sort of kind of tapes it a couple steps further.
Okay.
But I read that he was also influenced by just like the Patty Hearst.
Yes,
story.
I was thinking of Patty Hearst when watching it too.
Bette Midler's character's name in this movie, Scott, what do we...
Barbara Stone.
Barbara Stone. So Barbara Stone, when we first meet her, the kidnappers are bringing her into the house, and she is in like this sack, just like tied up, and she is giving it her all. She's kicking, she is not going quietly.
What a star entrance.
Oh my God. And, they drag her into that. Okay. This house, I'm telling you, this modest house, huge backyard, full grass backyard. They drag her in. They finally get her into the house, even though she's like kicking and like all that.
They got a basement.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled, listeners. I've lived in LA for 43 years. I've never been to a house with a basement this expansive. If anything, you could fit a washer and dryer, and that's it.
Right. No workout space.
No. I love that she completely falls down the stairs.
Yeah.
Rips through the burlap sack.
Her
just
two arms
cussing. She's like, I'll kill you, you motherfuckers.
Yes, and Judge Reinhold's shirt stays tucked into his jeans the entire time.
It was an 80s tuck.
Hand it to him.
An 80s tuck.
Yes. But yeah, right off the bat, this is what I was mentioning earlier. As a kid, I was kind of like, oh my God, this woman, she's so much. She's so like, she's kind of scary. But, it's Bette Midler. So she's doing what they brought her in to do, And Barbara Stone, when we first see her,
this looks a lot.
I don't even know where to start with the hair.
It's like
that.
It's like a Mae West put through a 80s blender of like a headpiece.
I have a photo of it on my iPad. It's like a Tina Turner wig. She's wearing this crazy coat and this like gold muumuu almost. And there's also like a gold chain that's like a belt on it too.
That vest that she's wearing is
the vest,
like hunter green with like a tube sleeve, a Navajo print.
I was going to say, it's like a Navajo print on it.
Mixed with that. And then, so it's like a space vest with Navajo thing. And then underneath
the tube sleeve give me very, like, Judy Jetson.
Yes.
Like, it's very, like, space age, the tubeness. Yeah.
Then she's wearing, like, a black shirt with silver glitter stripes.
Well, that's part of the bodysuit.
Okay, yeah, the body. Yes.
Which we see later, yeah.
And then that pink snakeskin dress. With a
She
brooch.
later has, like, a... She later has like a head wrap that she purchases that was probably on the outfit somewhere else that she wrapped around her head later when she escapes.
Yeah. And she has like that like that haircut she has is like very late in life lesbian mullet.
Yes.
Like,
it's just like coming. It's just yeah. I don't. Yeah.
And you have to hand it to Bette that she's not afraid to look ugly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, for Bette kind of with a reputation at this time, I mean, she's kind of going all out for this character.
Yeah.
Like, she's not really caring how silly she looks because she know that it works for the character.
Well, I think that, like, I feel like she's always been a non-traditional beauty. And then, like, she's kind of, like, always treated that way. But, like, she is, like, a knockout. Like, in, like, down on Beverly Hills, she wears this, like, pantsuit, and she does... You know, like Bette Midler always kind of waddles and does that kind of, like...
Yes.
Again, Mary Mae West, and she just, like, has her hands up and waddles and just, like...
Yeah.
There's, like, one scene where she's wearing a pantsuit and everything. I was like, her figure is amazing. I was like why were people giving her shit?
No. Even when she's Sadie in Big Business.
Oh, yeah. The country
when
Sadie.
she's... Yeah, it's like all of the outfits.
She has this petite little body.
Yeah, big city Rose, like all of it. She's just like she's killing it. Love it. But also part of the outfit we didn't even mention. There's like there's fur.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There's like foxtails. There's like foxtails like coming off the sleeve. This outfit is too much, but it just telegraphs that this is the woman that bought all that furniture.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Fashion victim and trend victim.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, right off the bat, you're like, whoa, what is this nightmare they've got?
Yes. Yeah. Because she married Danny DeVito. He got rich by, like, being this shyster charlatan guy.
And she was the one with the money, too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But she's also rich.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't it turn out that the money's hers?
I can't
This plot is right off the bat. This plot is it jumps through so many hoops. It is like Three's Company,
right?
Like on top of misunderstanding on top of misunderstanding. Yeah, I mean at the end of the day, it does turn out that all the money is in her name. The house is in her name.
Oh, that's
the cars,
right.
All that stuff. Yeah.
Probably like a tax write-off reason, like a very a Donald.
Oh, that's what it is.
Probably some Donald Trump reasons, like
some nonsense. Yeah, that's what it was. He put the house in her name because again he was being like shisty.
Right.
From the moment that she's introduced, her line. You fucked with the wrong person. My husband does business with the mafia. When they track you down, your whole family, everyone you ever knew will all get chainsaw enemas.
Chainsaw enemas. Oh, my God.
She's... so good. So good.
Yeah. Definitely a high point in this movie. But, I do remember, as we're rewatching it for me, the other night, there was a lot of little jokes, and I remembered a lot of Bill Pullman humor from this movie.
Sure.
Because his character, like we said, he's this himbo. He's emulating Miami Vice. He's got bleached blonde hair, but it's growing out.
With the roots. Even better. Even hotter, in my opinion.
It's very sun-in.
Yes. But his character is also kind of a dummy. And I remember a lot of the lines, that he had, and a lot of the like little beats, just really stuck with me. So that kind of like broad humor, and then there's this weird beat that him and the mistress have, in that when they are getting intimate, he has a dustbuster.
Yeah,
which I love. I mean, like, what is a trashier 80 things than to have than a dustbuster? Like, can you even get a dustbuster anymore?
Now, no. Yeah, you'd have to get it like on eBay or something.
I mean, we use one like that.
Well,
at work.
I mean, at work.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do it for like our coffee grounds.
But is it that like
grinder.
taupe like 80s?
No, it's not quite like a dirt devil
with its own wall mount recharger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Charger. I mean, I remember that period, and those were like state of the art.
Probably pretty expensive.
Yeah, they were the shit. That was Black & Decker, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just this weird like little like touch that there's.
Yeah, that's even as an adult, I'm like, I don't know what they're possibly doing with that. Like, I don't know.
Just get.
I never had my dust busted.
I loved when Danny DeVito goes to her house, which looks like you were talking about the decor, and it kind of feels like condo-ish to me.
Yes, it looks like a condo in like the West Side.
Like I don't know. Yeah,
vertical blinds.
Yes. When he's like telling her this whole story, well, you know, she tells Bill Pullman, trail Danny DeVito, he's going to kill his wife.
Right.
And we're going to use it as blackmail to take care of us financially for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
So
we're going to,
just sets it up that everyone in the movie is ruthless and out for themselves in a very, like...
Everyone's playing their own angle.
Yes, everybody's playing each other for something else, yes. So Bill Pullman goes out into the Hollywood Hills, sets up his camera there, waiting for Danny DeVito, but they don't show because what they don't know is the kidnapping has happened.
Right.
But what he does see is the principal from Head of the Class.
Who's the chief of police?
Who's the chief of police of the LAPD with a hooker.
Right.
And Bill Pullman has been told that it's this man and he's going to kill his wife.
And also, what are you guys thinking as little boys of when he tells the hooker, "I want you to scream because my wife just lays there and doesn't do anything"?
I don't know. I'm just thinking, oh, sure, all right.
Yeah, I was just sort of like, I guess that's going to happen. Like, I guess that's what I'm going to start doing when I get older. You know?
I guess my wife's just going to lay there as I am just mad at my mother-in-law for some reason.
I was always just trying to figure out, I was like, what is he doing to her? Like, I don't understand. And like, I was like, is it something more than sex, or is this just sex, or is like, what's going? Why is that one reaction?
Because he is in a business suit the entire time. So what is he doing to this woman? He's just ravaging her from behind.
That shot of her like boobs out of the car window.
Right.
It's just too much. Only in the 80s.
Hanging out of a car window, facing outwards, like a mermaid on the front of an old-timey ship, just like hanging out there.
That is a perfect description.
And he is just like, I'm assuming, just railing her from behind in a full business suit, 80s business suit, probably a vest, George Jefferson style. Who knows? But poor Bill Pullman is watching this,
thinking that he's seeing this woman murdered.
A murder in front of his very eyes, and he's just like, he's puking. You know, poor guy. I can't, you know, you sympathize with him because he's kind of a dullard. So he gets the video, you know, and now he goes back to, I can't remember her name, Anita.
I know,
Anita Bath.
The Mountain Witch from Smoky Mountain Christmas.
The Mountain Witch from Smoky Mountain Christmas and Wedgeworth type.
Carol.
Anita Morris. He goes back to Anita Morris's house, to the condo, and he's just like, I got this video. Like, it's so horrifying. Don't even watch it, you know. And it's very clever the way she's like, I have to watch it. And when she puts it in and just hears the screaming, and it's just like, no, I can't. And knock on the door at the very same moment, so she turns it off. So she doesn't see that it's not Danny DeVito. So my favorite part about this whole scene, when he walks in and he's just like, oh yeah, I got rid of her, blah blah blah, you know, misunderstanding. Popping the champagne. Oh, we'll clean it up off the carpet. Blah blah blah. My favorite part is like, I gotta go back to the house. Like, the cops are there. Blah blah blah. And he leaves, and he goes, I'm gonna take some bonbons for the road.
Yeah.
And he grabs some chocolate out of this little bowl.
That's a move.
That Danny DeVito delivery.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, there's chocolate here. Fuck it. I'm out. I'm going to grab some chocolate. But the way he calls them bonbons, I'm just like, oh, so 80s. I love it.
Yeah, they really do hit like all the kind of like perfect yuppie, like like 80s. They're very much okay. Let's make this like, what are the trashy things right now? Bonbons, Memphis Furniture, and Dustbusters, Miami Vice.
Yes. Her like that shade of red that her hair is.
Very Mona.
It's very like Who's the Boss?
Yeah, Mona.
Yeah.
Which I always think she's very Leslie Ann Warren too.
Definitely. When we first see her in the movie, she's just in this like lingerie.
Yeah.
This like super like, does Fredericks of Hollywood even sell this anymore?
Right.
This type of lingerie that is like 2 pieces. What is it?
Under a fur coat.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I do love, because in that scene it's in his office in a high-rise in downtown. I love that this movie showcases so much of
There's a lot of LA in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of kind of big landmarks of LA. So we go from downtown.
The Beverly Center.
The Beverly Center.
Right. Is that Tales of the Pup hot dog stand real?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was real. That was a real hot dog stand, and it was there for many, many years. It's also in that same location. It's an LA Story with Steve Martin.
Oh, I've seen that, but not since it came out.
That movie's kind of kooky. I forced Scott to watch that, and it is out of control.
You get some good shots of the Bonaventure Hotel, where they work in the sitcom It's a Living.
It's a Living. So the Bonaventure Hotel is famously made of, like, it's all glass and all windows, like, top to bottom. And I don't know if it's just...
Are you talking about the little production design note that in Danny DeVito's office he has a telescope?
And it's pointed at the
Because supposedly people used to have sex in those elevators.
I noticed the telescope, and I was like, okay,
yeah, it's pointed at the hotel. Yeah. I was like, oh, my God.
And also a shot of the Jesus Save sign, which is kind of a oddball landmark of downtown LA.
Yeah, for sure. That's in a lot of stuff. Yes, so Judge Reinhold is, he's the kidnapper, so he's calling Danny DeVito from these phone booths, right? So the cops can't trace the call, and he's constantly calling, saying, he starts out at, what does he start out at, 500,000? 50,000. He starts out at 500,000, doesn't pay it, lowers it to 50,000, doesn't pay it. But, the cops get involved, and the cops, the LAPD presumably, play this role in the movie in that they are constantly this presence at Danny DeVito's house. There's the 2 detectives that are there that are kind of like working with him, and there's like the one bumbling like police academy kind of cop.
Yeah, it's very... I looked him up. I was trying to figure out what I knew him from, because I think I just know that character.
I know that guy's face. I know he's been in a ton of stuff. Yeah.
So our favorite shot of the movie, just in the background, there are these 2 police officers just playing tennis.
On the tennis courts. Danny DeVito is underneath this. He's in like a gazebo or something, and he's taking this phone call. But just in the background, in the deep distance, there's 2 uniformed cops playing tennis.
That's very top secret in Airplane.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm just like, how are these cops not just like, oh yeah, he did it. He's so shady and not even bothering to cover his
Yeah, it's pretty obvious, but he sneaks in just under the radar with them.
Yeah. Well, he does good bits of like pretending to cry by putting Vaseline in the lens. And like he's able to like kind of turn on a dime. Like when he's talking to the kidnappers, to Judge Reinhold, like he plays it so well, just being like a sleazy 80s business guy and being like making a deal with him and like the art of the deal type stuff. It's so,
totally.
He plays it so well. And even like when he gets that first phone call and realizes that like he's like, oh my God, she's been kidnapped and I don't have to kill her. And he's just like, his face just goes from like, I can't believe this is fucking happening.
Yeah, he's really good. And I mean, I guess the thing about that character is just with the cops especially, he's probably just thinking like, well, I didn't fucking do it. So what are they going to find?
Yeah. It's like clearly she's not here.
Yeah, I don't have anything to hide, so I don't have to, jump through hoops or anything.
And it's not like he's in on it with these kidnappers, so yeah.
Yeah, the only thing is he did walk into the house carrying that bottle of chloroform, which he just kind of...
And then he throws over the hill.
Yeah, and it's on the side of the hills, so he just threw it thinking, hey...
The chloroform bottle.
Yeah. But we also have this poodle.
This is your second appearance on the podcast with this dog, Ben.
But is it actually Algonquin?
Yes, that's
Isn't
right.
it?
Yeah,
is it Algonquin from Elvira, Mistress of the Dark?
Yes.
Just looking mean. Because Cassandra said that dog was not very nice.
Oh, yeah.
And that dog does look like it will bite your finger if you try to pet it.
Yeah.
What did she say? I just hate yappy little dogs. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. And Danny DeVito hates this fucking dog.
Yeah. gets
He tries to shoot it.
He tries to shoot it. He tries to have a pit bull or a Doberman, like, eat it, but those two dogs kind of hit it off.
Yeah. I love that the Doberman and the poodle just become friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's also such an 80s thing, is to have rich people that have Dobermans.
Well,
Yeah.
Dobermans were that was like an 80s dog. It was like
You're right,
the attack dog of the 80s was like bobbed ears, bobbed tail,
Barely getting over a
scary
fence.
Doberman. Yeah.
Like, if you could barely get over a fence by getting chased with a Doberman, and you could get a lot of work in the 80s.
Oh, yes, indeed. Dobermans and German Shepherds, I feel like, were very, like, 80s, like, scary dogs.
Yeah.
Like, pit bulls weren't even a thing. They were just, like...
You didn't see those until, like, the 90s.
They were street dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Pit bulls are very 90s.
Yeah, so the dog kind of inadvertently leads the cops to the chloroform out on the side of the hill. And this is where they kind of think that Danny DeVito might be in on it.
Yes. Right. He knows a little more than what he's telling them.
Yeah. Meanwhile...
We have to talk about Bette's exercise journey.
Yes.
Like, going into 2021, like, New Year, New Me, I just listened to...
Trapped in this house.
I just listened to Millie and Danielle's I Saw What You Did episode on New Year, New Me. So this is our episode of New Year, New Me.
It's very fun.
So Bette Midler's, like, exercise journey.
Yeah.
Actually, like, right when, like, COVID started, and we were, like, you know, like, back in, like, March, I was like, Ruthless People is the perfect thing, because everyone was, like, looking for exercise equipment. You couldn't go to the gyms. I was like, I'm going to get paint cans and go in the yard. And, like,
she made that work. She was doing those crunches on those stairs.
I mean, like, ever since I'm 10 years old, I've just been, like trying to, like, work out with paint cans. So
if she can do it.
I'm going to get it together.
If she can do it, we all can.
Right.
That montage of her working out is so empowering.
So the Billy Joel song, The Modern Woman.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you're from that point on, like, you're with her. Like, you know, like, she's...
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She's like, she gets mad at the TV and, like, kicks it over, and, like, she's doing, like, reps for the chairs.
It's so clever of how it's set up, because it sets up of her just lying in bed, just watching. She's
just bored.
Just channel surfing because she's bored, and she ends up on an aerobics class.
Yeah.
So she tries it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you just see her progressively get better at it.
I love that when she talks about that she needs, like, she gets her list of demands, and she needs, like, all these, like pills, and she needs urine injection. Like,
urine injection.
She's like, it's for weight loss. Does it work? Yeah, it works.
I love the idea that Helen Slater and Judge Reinhold are the kind of people that are like, they're so desperate that they're going to kidnap the wife of, you know, her former boss, the CEO of this, like, huge company, to demand money for retribution, you know. But also, they're going to clean and disinfect their basement and provide her with cable television while she's down there.
And be insulted that, like, she doesn't like me. She doesn't like the food. Like, she's like, I just want her to be friendly.
It smells. Yeah, that's just the ammonia. We're cleaning for days. Yeah.
It helps when you have two very likable actors playing those roles. That it never gets dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she has, like, the weight loss journey, and, like, for the montage, and then, like, the Helen Slater's, like, super nice, and she's like, you must have lost 20 pounds, and then she, like, loses her mind. She's like, what?
20 pounds?
She's like, can I get a mirror? Can we play dress up?
I don't know how to thank you.
Thank me?
I've been to 10 different fat farms in the last, God, I don't know how many years, and I lost a total of 6 pounds. I have lost 20 pounds. I wasn't sure, but it felt thin. You wouldn't have a... Never mind.
Oh, what?
No. It's very silly.
Oh, no, what? Please tell me.
Oh, all my life I wanted to have a slinky little figure, you know, so I could wear some Bill Blass or Valentino, some exotic full-length evening gown like Christian Dior, Jimmy Galanos.
Are you kidding me? You're kidding me,
I'm
aren't
sorry.
you?
I know it's ridiculous to think somebody of your, moderate means.
I'll be right back. Just don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And so-
it's just so like that 80s idea of fitness.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fitness in the 80s, health clubs as they called them at the time.
Right.
It wasn't a gym, it was a health club.
Yeah, it was like the post-Fat Farm era.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And 20 pounds for like a woman, according to a movie.
Especially
is just
someone as petite as Bette,
Yeah.
20 pounds should be pretty noticeable.
Yes. Well, also, like, they probably put her in, like, some padding at the beginning. Like,
Yeah,
they gave her this
yeah.
little fupa
They gave her a little fatty suit.
Yeah, they have a
Yeah.
close because I think at the beginning when she's doing some some kind of bending thing, they show
Yes.
her upa and
Yes.
and that bodysuit, and then she falls over. Yeah,
Yeah, because she's wearing that bodysuit the entire time. She just sheds the layers and is just wearing the bodysuit. And, this montage of just... I'm sorry, the paint can, that is got to be intense. I couldn't do it.
yeah. She kind of does go into like a Linda Hamilton thing. She's like, my body's coming a machine. I need less food to
Less calories. She's not eating as much of what they give to her and all that. Yeah. The clothes that Helen Slater designs
Yes.
that she brings down to her. I mean, I can't even.
So
I don't even describe.
I looked up the costume designer to see if she did anything, and she had a couple of the movies, but she did the Flintstones from the 90s, and I was like,
Oh, that
Okay.
makes sense.
those looks are very Flintstone with the kind of ripped up stuff and
They ripped up. Very
Harlequin.
the shapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
It was Betty
geometric. Very Betty Rubble.
Rosanna Norton, she did Tron and Inner Space also in RoboCop.
Wow.
Oh, she did RoboCop?
RoboCop 2.
Oh.
Set in the not too distant future.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess the idea of the two of them bonding over fashion and weight loss is maybe not the most progressive idea.
But I
But
think
it worked for
I was
me.
gonna
Yeah.
say what the idea of this scene is. I think that she just sort of listens to her.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
she's just sort of a friend to her.
Right.
That this woman's not quite the bitch that you thought she was.
Yeah.
She just sort of needs a friend.
Yeah.
And someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and later, Helen Slater says, she's like, she lost 20 pounds, and then he's like, what? And he's just like, well, you just had to be there. It was very special. And I was like, I agree.
It was a moment.
You did have to be there because I feel the same way too.
Yes. And I think Barbara Stone is the kind of woman and the kind of wife that when she heard Helen Slater say, I actually came up with the spandex miniskirt, was just like, that son of a bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think she was just like, what? Like, that fucker. And believed her.
Yeah.
And these two just hate each other as a couple too.
Yeah, the whole thing about he worships the ground I walk on, that's a front. She knows that he is a son of a bitch.
Well, yeah, and so this is when they have, after they're hanging out and trying on clothes and looking in the mirror at each other, she has the clip that was on all the commercials and all the the Bette roll of the.
Mm-hmm.
Do I understand this correctly? I'm being marked down? What is this, the bargain basement? I've been kidnapped by Kmart.
Which I love the trope of Kmart and Blue Light Special in all the 80s movies. It's in
Yeah.
True Beverly Hills.
I mean, that's the epitome of discount shopping, and
Right.
and these 80s movies are just illustrating wealth and all of that ideals of making money and how that makes you a better person or whatever. So
Right.
yeah, shopping at Kmart is just
And I remember getting teased in school if you're to say that you got something at Kmart,
yes.
you'd be like, no, you have to just
No, you couldn't.
You'd have to switch schools.
yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Lucy's Leftovers or Poncho's Giveaway. Sorry.
Who used to do clothes for Kmart? Was it Kathy Ireland?
I want to say Kathy Ireland had a
makes sense.
Kmart collection. Yes. Jacqueline Smith was for JCPenney.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute. Did Martha Stewart have a Kmart line? I think she did.
I think you're right. I think she did. But I think it was like housewares, wasn't it? Like sheets and
I think so.
Like towels and stuff.
Sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. But that was like post like Kmart.
That was when like Rosie
and
and Penny Marshall were doing commercials for it in the late 90s.
By the time it was fine. The 90s happened and everything was fine.
Yeah, exactly. But as a kid, I mean, God forbid you were the kid that had to wear, non-name brand, Pro Spirit Kmart
I was going to
shoes.
say, yeah, what were those Pro Wings or something like that?
Pro Wings, yeah, Pro Wings. Oh,
yeah.
Knock on wood. God bless. God bless if you wore Pro Wings. I mean,
you're a strong person today.
You're a strong person. You're stronger for it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. But yeah, so Barbara becomes, she befriends Helen Slater, and Helen Slater lets her go.
Yeah.
And you think she's gone because
and you get this moment that she went to the cops and she's going to turn them in.
Yeah.
And then they introduce sort of the out of left field character in the script, which is he's like the Night Stalker of LA.
Yeah. I feel like this is like when I was watching, I was thinking, I was like, was this like a French movie that they like remade for America?
Yeah.
Because I was like, but at that point, because like all these kind of weird things are coming together and everyone's kind of assholes. And then the killer comes in. I was just this feels like a French farce that they like remade for the 80s.
Or it almost feels like this Night Stalker character was in an earlier version of the script as a main character, and they wrote him out, and they had to write him back in to tie up loose ends of the plot.
Yeah. He's there throughout.
Mm-hmm.
The drawing, the sketch is there, but then when it comes in, you're just like, oh, what? Like that's okay. I mean, all right, they got to get it. But at the end, he kind of comes in clutch.
Yeah,
and
they wrap it all up. I mean, like it's a tight, well, not a tight script, but it's got.
But for all intents and purposes, it's loosely tight.
Yeah.
So he ends up just trying to. He breaks into their house.
I mean, okay,
just sort of just a coincidence.
So the idea is there's this serial killer, but he is fully insane. He's not just like, I enjoy killing people. He is like schizophrenic beyond like anything insane, disassociative.
Yes. Yeah, he's like,
because
I don't have a lot of time for motives. I'm just in here.
No, not at all.
I'm breaking in with a knife, and
you're my mother. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
You're my father. I'm going to kill you. That's it.
Yeah, so he comes in and attacks Helen Slater and Judge Reinhold, and
this is when Bette comes back,
right?
Yeah, because we thought she was gone because she got set free, but she comes back just like, hey guys, I'm back from like the 7-Eleven or whatever.
Yeah, because they're going to open a fashion line together. They're going to start.
I got a 6-pack. Yeah. We're gonna plan out our fashion line together, which I kind of love that. You just don't really question it of why she crosses over, just because they do just seem like such lovely people. Of why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
And
they fed her. They kept her.
She's on a 20-pound weight loss high, and she said you want to start a clothing line. She's like
this kidnapping was fully the best thing that ever happened to her because it finally gave her the kick in the ass to go on her fitness journey.
And we get this tie-in to when Barbara first got to the house, in that this serial killer gets knocked down the basement stairs, but this time he actually does die.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes! And then we kind of forget about it for a minute.
Yeah, until the last act of the movie.
That worked out.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, because then they just go upstairs and start planning things and forget about him.
Yeah.
Things are moving fast at that point.
I feel like Bette's the most fun in this movie, I think, when she's in on it.
Yes.
And she is calling Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
She's leading them on that she's still kidnapped. Yeah. She gets to yell at him, and then she says, Oh, they made me say that.
Listen, Sam, we don't have much time. There's a gun pointed at my head, and they're making me give the ransom instructions in case the police are listening. They don't want to have any voice prints. You must make sure there are no police. Otherwise, they'll kill me.
No cops.
Now, have you got all the money? $2.2 million in unmarked, non-sequential bills? You miserable scum-sucking pig! Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. They made me say that.
When Helen Slater is like fate, burning her with cigarettes with tofu
the
burgers.
hamburger patty.
Yeah, he's like, get the tofu burgers out of the freezer. And then...
that's right, they are tofu burgers. I forgot.
Because they're vegans, because they're so nice.
Because they're good people.
But I love Bette Midler's face. She gets to do that, like, this like super animated face. She's
right.
like, cut it out with the fucking burning already.
Yeah, definitely. That face that she gives her when she's like, all right, cut it. Very good.
And they all have it planned out in that one shot when they're like on the phone, like all three huddled around the phone together, and then they're like going over his assets, and then they do like a turnaround and the camera pivots with them. You're just like, yes, like you're in it with them.
This like money drop off situation downtown. God.
Where is the shot at? This is a big location downtown. Is it
that red like iron art piece?
I've been there once. It's downtown.
Yeah, it's downtown somewhere.
Is it by the bank building?
It looks like that's
yeah.
It looks like a bank structure.
Yeah, but it's somewhere. We can find it. It's a.
I went there, the one time I went there. Madonna was shooting a video by accident, and I got I had to like reroute my thing because they were shutting it off, and I was like, "What's happening?" And this is like in the early 2000s, and so I was just, like before phones. I was just like, "Oh, Madonna's like somewhere on the street," but then I was just like, "Well, we got to get out of here."
Wow, I wonder what video it was.
I don't know. I meant to think of what that was. Anyways, sorry.
No, that's okay. But yeah, they're in downtown LA. They're doing this money drop-off situation. There's like cops everywhere. Judge Reinhold is there. Bill Pullman somehow gets involved, inserts himself into the situation.
So they're trying to go because they realize that Barbara really has been kidnapped, has not been killed, that the principal from head of the class is boinking someone else. So they're going to be like, okay, we're going to intercept the ransom. And so she sends like Mona, fake Mona sends Bill Pullman to pick up the money. And but the LA police are secretly there to protect Sam.
Yes. DeVito. I love that they have all these undercover police officers everywhere as like homeless people, man on the street, and they have these gigantic earpieces. I mean, not bad for 1986, but pretty noticeable.
But that scene is great. Like when the phone's ringing and like Danny DeVito goes to the wrong phone and like because it's a bank of phone booths. It's like 4 or 5. Scott was trying to figure out if those phone booths were placed there for the movie.
I think they just added that.
To just square. This plaza, underneath this it's this. If you haven't watched it, it's this giant like abstract art piece that's made of like wrought iron, some kind of metal. And it's these like soaring arches and shapes, and it's this like Golden Gate Bridge kind of reddish color, and it's kind of I guess it's an iconic downtown LA art piece. It's been there for as long as I can remember. I
feel like it's like part of that like 70s thing where Japanese people bought over the high rises in like major cities, and then like they have all this like modern art outside of it. Yeah,
exactly. And it's still there in downtown LA, but it's just this really weird like just thing in the background. And it's a little plaza in front of it, and there's this like short wall with like 5 or 6 phone booths in a row. And they're calling the phone booths, and Danny DeVito's like answering the phones, and it's not the right one, and he's hanging them up and going to the next one. But Judge Reinhold comes in. Is he wearing is it the same duck mask in the scene?
Clown outfit.
Both the clown,
And so like the whole like gag is that like Danny DeVito's now in trouble for like being suspected to kill his wife. So now he has to like work with the kidnappers when he hasn't been wanting to work with them the whole time. And so,
yes,
but he still has to give over like $2 million, and he's like not wanting to let it go. He's just like, he has proof that he didn't do it. Now they're on their own, and so, Judge Reinhold's trying to get the money. The cops tell Danny DeVito he has to hand over the money, and then
because he pulls a gun on him.
Yeah, that like comically large gun.
Yeah. I mean, in Danny DeVito's hand,
right?
Every gun is comically large.
And so then Bill Pullman pulls up to like,
oh my god,
to get the money. To, like, yeah, and like Bill Pullman and Judge Reinhold in this scene are so good. Like they play each other.
Yeah.
So like he's so annoyed by Bill Pullman, and Bill Pullman plays dumb so well.
Yeah, really good.
Bill Pullman got Spaceballs pretty close after this. I think Spaceballs was what, 87?
87.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He had to cut off all that bleach blonde. Mm-hmm. Who's driving that? Like one of them's driving a Gremlin.
Yeah, this is Bill Pullman, and then
it's Bill Pullman.
And so I don't know what the other car was because I don't know cars, but like Judge Reinhold has a similar yellow, slightly better car than him.
Yeah,
it's like.
Yeah, but Bill Pullman's Gremlin is very like, oh my god, what is that like piece of shit. But we also get these like, and again, Scott and I are sticklers for this shit because we're in Los Angeles, and when there are these scenes, you know, he's in downtown LA, he's got the suitcase full of money, and he's like, "Don't follow me," and he drives away, and they all follow him.
And then all of a sudden, we're at the Santa Monica Pier.
And suddenly,
okay.
One scene later, there isn't like a high speed chase on the 10 freeway.
An OJ situation. They drive down one residential street, and then all of a sudden, we're in Santa Monica.
He's fully driving down the pier. Yeah. We also love shots of the Santa Monica Pier before the big remodel.
Yeah. There's no rides. There's fully a Ferris wheel on that pier.
Yeah.
Like right now. It's in Iron Man, it's in like all these movies, but like,
because I think that they did the big remodel of the pier probably in 97, 96.
The late 90s.
Okay, I think that's the first time I went there was then.
Because it's still like that in The Truth About Cats and Dogs, which came out in 96. So yeah, it was around then.
Yeah. You mean the Ferris wheel is there?
No, it's
not there.
So yeah, I think it was like 97
Probably
or so.
97?
Yeah.
Okay. This whole situation with Judge Reinhold driving off the edge of the pier.
He's just like, he's going to end it all.
Fuck it. And he fully says, too, and it's like, nobody's in the car with him, but he fully says, like, I'm not going to jail.
You're not going to take me alive.
Only because I was paying more attention this time. It's the cops are listening in on the CB thing, so he's like trying to tip them off. He's like, I'm going to kill myself.
You're right. The cops are listening. That's what it is.
Meanwhile, he has like the Night Stalker, I guess, just like under the seat.
In the same outfit?
I don't know. In the back seat somewhere with the blanket over him?
They
I don't know.
planned this out really well.
Yeah, it comes together very, very, very weird at the end.
It's all Barbara.
Yeah.
She was like, you know what we're going to do? You're going to go to the 99-cent store.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Go down the basement, drag that motherfucker, put him in your Pinto.
You're going to go get two masks. two bozo masks.
I almost kind of want to see like a flashback scene of
the planning of this.
The planning of this.
Yeah.
You're gonna go get
just narrated by Bette Midler.
You're gonna go get scuba certified.
Yeah, like an Ocean 11 level detail of their plan.
Yeah, you know how to scuba dive, right? Oxygen tank, you're good. You're good with an oxygen tank. Yes, and yes, okay.
So I've been to that pier once, and like, or maybe it's not that one. Maybe it's the Venice Pier where everybody goes to surf. That's the Venice one, right?
It's Santa Monica because there's not a pier.
It's Santa Monica, yeah.
Okay, but they like when they drive off of that, which I'm also like. All these people,
yeah. I mean, probably if you drove off that pier, probably just like the collision with the water,
right,
would probably do you in because it's pretty high off. It's pretty high off the water.
Yeah, but then it's like they where does he swim to? Like, it's not that far away. And
It's just right off the beach.
It's
They're
just right off the beach.
Yeah.
That's just Santa Monica Beach
yeah,
that they all meet at.
I was like, if he were to swim away, like, you're still in plain sight of everybody, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully the cops have dispersed by the time that Bette meets up with all of them.
Yeah, because when you see Helen Slater just like casually strolling along the beach,
Right.
What's behind her? Yeah, that's PCH right there. That's pretty much walking distance from the pier.
I mean, at least like go a mile and a half up at like Roy Rogers.
But how does he know? He's
Yeah.
he's drove into the ocean, has to like go find the scuba gear in the back seat, like and that's
Have some money fall out.
yeah, exactly. A couple of thousand, so like the people can jump in, cause a big enough distraction.
And then, yeah, but it's great when Bette Midler
When Barbara comes in the police
back,
car,
showing up, yeah, getting dropped off by the police to like. To
She
come
has
and do
that
her
good
stunt.
moment with Danny DeVito. Also, Bette's only scene with Danny DeVito
yeah.
Oh,
in this whole movie.
Yeah,
All of
Yeah.
their scenes have just been off camera.
I love Bette Midler and Danny DeVito as a couple.
Yes,
Right,
they
yeah.
make total sense.
in my mind, I feel like they did more together. Like just remembering them, like and it was like, oh,
Absolutely.
wait,
When I
that's
was looking
Absolutely.
up press for this movie, Bette had nothing but great things to say about working with Danny.
Oh,
too.
good.
And it makes me think that like Bette does have a reputation of being difficult, but Bette also knows how to play in an ensemble movie.
Sure.
That like she knows how to be a part of a cast. So this just isn't the Bette Midler show. Like she can share the screen
Right.
with
Well, and like
everyone.
And one of my like Barbara Walter Entertainment Tonight like deep dives with her, she said that she learned her lesson to like she shows up, she does what they want, and she's like and she's playing the part.
Okay.
She's like a team player now.
Yeah.
After getting blackballed.
Sure. But then it's only like a year later when she's sitting across from Oprah Winfrey saying, no, I would not like to work with Shelley Long on another movie.
I love that clip because she ends it, because people forget how that clip ends on YouTube.
Yes,
Listeners, look up
Watch the whole
this whole clip of Bette Midler talking about working with Shelley Long on Outrageous Fortune. Also listen to our Outrageous Fortune episode
yeah.
before. And she ends it with saying, well, there's always you, Oprah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there was a
Me and
movie
you.
that they were supposed to do, and neither of them did like the script.
Oh, really?
I would pay real money to just read the script.
I want to see like a buddy cop movie with Oprah and
my
Bette
God. I
or
wish
something.
I wish that like they were going to be in Feds. Like it was supposed to be with them or something.
Oh man, can you imagine Feds with Oprah and Bette Midler instead of those two?
Right.
Who's it? Rebecca De Mornay and Mary Gross.
Very gross. Yeah.
Oh, but Mary Gross.
I
I
love
know.
Mary Gross.
This movie
but
was missing Mary Gross.
She could have.
Mary
she could
Gross
had a
should have
role.
been somewhere in this movie.
She could have played a cop. She could have played.
She could have played
that
a bumbling cop. She could have been that bumbling
Yes.
cop. It could have been a lady cop.
We're not thinking that way.
No.
Our beloved Mary Gross
I
on
know.
this show.
This
Over.
movie also has cameos from
The guy from Summer
Dave-
School.
the guy from Summer School, Dave from Summer
Yeah.
School. He goes to
Another
the
previous episode.
the crazy Radio Shack. Like,
Right.
I mean, I guess it's supposed to be like Crazy Gideon's. So in LA, we have Crazy Gideon's. Crazy Gideon's is an electronic shop.
Uh-huh.
And it's local, and it's in downtown LA. It's on Traction Avenue. And the thing is, there would be local commercials, and Gideon would do the commercials, and he'd be like, "I'm crazy," and he would like hit TVs with a sledgehammer and
Right.
and throw bowling balls at the TV and talk about his low prices. And he was on Traction Avenue, and Gideon was just like this like Russian like Armenian like guy who just owned this electronic shop called Crazy Gideon's. And I think it's just like this archetype for this like crazy whatever kind of thing. And in this movie, it's like crazy so and so.
God, there's a throwback as stereo prices in the 80s. Investing in home entertainment centers and just what a racket it was.
Get out of here with the component stereo.
Oh,
We had to buy...
That brings you back.
The stacks.
Yeah.
Every little thing was another stack, and they were so expensive.
Yeah.
I'm talking hundreds of dollars. Like an iPod or whatever in like the 2000s.
Right.
It's like $300 for an iPod. But you'd have to buy that like 4 times.
Right.
Because you'd have to buy your
would-
AM, FM, your CD.
It would
your
take
cassette.
up your entire
your receiver.
wall in your living room.
Yeah, those receivers were so nuts.
The two,
And now it's
It's meanwhile, now you just get your sound bar and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Maybe get if you're super fancy, you get the speakers on the sides.
And I come from East LA. I have cousins who worked in that industry.
Right.
Alan Ed's Auto Sound, we at backyard weddings. We were very much goodbye weekend, 'cause here I
Yes.
come, all that shit, and that home stereo speaker situation. I deep into it.
I read that the screenwriter, previous job was selling stereo equipment, and I guess that's why he.
Yeah, that
put it in
tracks.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense because it was indeed a racket, and it was very much you think bigger's better, blah blah blah. No, yeah.
Meanwhile, you walk out spending $3,000.
Girl, I have spent real coin on my car stereo systems. I've had subwoofers heavier than you in my car. You don't
Is
even
that
understand.
still something that people still
yes.
invest a lot of money in?
Yes,
I
girl.
never think about it.
You would not understand when these car alarms go off on our
Sure.
street. Why?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
of that bass.
Yeah,
It's
there's
all
a
about
lot
that
of
super bass.
in Atlanta.
I need to get my Yaris
We got to get some super bass in that Yaris.
We gotta get some bass.
Well, I'll get you.
Get some
I'll
shit in
get
the
you a
trunk.
deal on a subwoofer.
We listen to Carly Rae Jepsen cruising down Whittier Boulevard.
A five disc changer. 5 discs.
In the trunk.
Just put it on random. You're good.
Do you know what I was thinking the other day of what is the CD that I have in my CD player right now in my car?
Who knows?
That I have not listened to for probably since I bought it.
All right. Side note: I bet that I can guess that the CD in the CD player of your car right now is the 90s Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh my God! How did you know that? Yes, Ben, do you remember this? It was a
all the
mix.
indie bands.
It was a compilation of 90s artists.
Yes,
It was
Lemonheads,
and then there was
stuff.
bands like the Ramones that did Spider-Man, Collective Soul, Sponge,
Who did HR
Juliana Hatfield. Yeah.
That's
I
in
do
his.
remember
That is currently in my car right now.
With that yellow
I can't believe that
plastic
you knew
case.
that.
The case
Yeah,
is
that yellow
plastic.
Yes, it actually is. Yeah. I mean, it was either that or the I Want to Be a Carpenter. Do you not have that?
Oh, that was great.
Wasn't that great? I Want to Be a
Yeah.
Carpenter. That was so
With the
good.
Sonic Youth and
Yes.
Babes in Toyland.
I just want to take a moment to talk about Anita Morris. Carol.
This is a beautiful IMDb photo.
Her IMDb photo is out of control.
Yeah.
It is this saloon girl. I don't even know if you'll be able
my
to
God.
see it.
Who is she? What is this?
Who is she though?
Did she play a
The
Marianne?
saloon-
Was she in Bethel Horse in Texas?
It's like, publicists, you need to step your pussy up with what photos you put on your main image on IMDb.
And again, I'm telling you, this alabaster skin, this
Beautiful.
this red. What even color is this red?
I mean, there's reasons why in Smokey Mountain Christmas that she's the anti-Dolly.
She is Jezebel, the
that she's
anti-Dolly.
Jezebel the Mountain Witch.
Yeah.
The antagonist to Dolly Parton.
Yes.
What is that movie from? Oh, she's like.
What is this still image? Where? I mean, shit. This will be. It's from Radioland Murders.
Oh yeah, that 40s, radio play. She looks
Radioland Murders. Mel Smith.
She looks like a burlesque version of Poison Ivy from Batman, or mixed with
Ooh, I like it.
But as a rooster instead of Poison Ivy.
Yeah, the feathers. She's like a sexy Mrs. Peacock. A sexy Eileen Brennan. If you can get sexier than Eileen Brennan.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so another trivia from her IMDb, not only did she appear in the Rolling Stones music video She Was Hot in 1984 as the title role, but she co-starred in Ruthless People, and the song is from Mick Jagger. So she was in a Stones video.
So and so right around this time, Bette Midler was doing Beast of Burden in her like one-woman show, and she was like hanging out with like Mick Jagger and David Bowie at the time, and oh
my god,
have you ever seen like you should look up the like performances because like she was on Solid Gold doing it in like 1983, and she's crawling around and humping the floor. Like right before Madonna like was doing this, and I was like, I was trying to do like a research to figure out who was humping the floor first, her or Madonna, and I think they're neck and neck. Like,
wow,
it's probably a sore subject with Bette if you bring it up.
I'm sure she is taking credit for that. I'm sure she's like, I was humping floors before Madonna came along
on Solid Gold. No
but I
less.
really, really, really love her version of Beast of Burden. She like makes it her own, and like when she gets to the part where she's like, ain't I rough enough, ain't I rich enough, and she makes it her own, and like is very wounded.
Wow.
Look up her Solid Gold performance.
Yeah, we're going to right now. Was it Marilyn McCoo hosting at that point? Probably.
Yeah. And
I love it.
But yeah, she did a video with Mick Jagger for Beast of Burden, and it's like one of those like 7-minute videos from the early 80s when they're like, there's like a plot beforehand,
a short film,
and but also for the speaking of the title song, so like the and the animated sequence at the beginning was created by the same woman who did Mannequin, who did Madhouse, Loverboy, and I think those were her 4 movies. But yeah, she did like powerhouse of all the animated
Madhouse with John Larroquette and Kirstie Alley.
Yes,
I love Madhouse.
And Loverboy, like with the animated pizza toppings. And, like,
I wonder if she worked on animated feature and she just branched out by herself.
So
if she was just I
looked her up. There's this website called Art of the Title that is all about title credits and stuff, and they do a interview with her, and she did all these like short films from like the late 60s and did this kind of like psychedelic stuff and won a bunch of awards. And I think that her husband was friends with the Zuckers, and then like worked on Airplane, and so she met them through that, and then did this for them after. And but basically, she was when she saw the movie, she was like, "Oh, I should just make the entire animated sequence be about." Like based on the furniture in their house, that kind of crazy angles and all that kind of like ugly design stuff, and so she like just went for that and like made the credits like because all the credits are like the furniture or the people like killing the people's names.
Sure.
So, but anyways, she apparently she said she read an interview where Mick Jagger hated the animation for the movie and was just like they ruined my song, and she was like, actually I hated that song, like you wrote a horrible song and you ruined my animated sequence.
That song is so weird. I was just thinking the whole time, like, this can't be Mick Jagger. Like, it sounds so much like Mick, but it can't be, and I know for a fact it's not Rolling Stones. I'm like, in my heart, this is not Rolling Stones. If anything, it's a Mick solo effort.
I was going to say Mick Jagger is no stranger to writing forgettable songs from movies. Like his title song from Alfie with Jude Law.
Oh, I don't know that one. I mean, I know the old one, but yeah, I mean, this is also around the time when him and David Bowie did that horrible Dancing in the Streets. And so, like, which is like the definitive end of the Rolling Stones for me. Like, I'm with them through their whole aerobics era, and like I love 70s, 80s Rolling Stones, but like that is a hard like end of a career for me.
There's no going back.
Yeah,
that video is so much. It's so much.
Yeah, it's so just like dad's soda shop basement. Like
that's garbage, mama.
Like all in the 80s, like all dads had that like soda shop basement with like the black and white checkered floor and like pastels and
Was this pre-Steel Wheels Rolling Stones?
Yeah.
The Steel Wheelchair tour.
Just like I don't know what drugs. It's just coke.
Nonsense.
And,
Probably just coke. Just like nonsense. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the soundtrack's pretty good. Has that Modern Woman, Billy Joel song? I can't remember.
The Billy Joel song is fun. It's definitely fun. But yeah, the credits started playing, and I'm just like listening to it all, just going Ruthless People, but just thinking this song is awful.
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
it's pretty lazy.
Ruthless People. Hey,
yeah,
yeah,
hey,
Ruthless People.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh man, this freaking movie. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. I feel like okay.
I'm kind of mad that it took me this long to finally
get
watch
to
it.
Yeah.
It played well to you, so like not just for our own childhood nostalgia for it.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I feel like that's the thing, is I feel like this is a very specific movie of people with a certain age that were kids in the 80s that remember watching it. Because I don't remember this movie being on cable a lot. Yeah. Or on network TV when I was a kid in the 90s. Like, I was watching Outrageous Fortune on Lifetime, but they never played Ruthless People, though.
Yeah. And I think it kind of fits in with like Beverly Hills Cop and Jumping Jack Flash, and it was kind of like taking in big comedians from the time, and then like, okay, let's get them into a movie, whatever. And so, like, yeah, I mean, like I was trying to think like who are the other kind of like big female comedians at the time that were making movies. You have like Goldie Hawn, who was doing like Wildcats, and like what else is she doing? Like Protocol, and then you have like Whoopi doing Jumpin' Jack Flash and Burglar.
Which I could see probably Goldie taking the script, having it to be tailored to her too. I could see her sort of
could have worked with Goldie.
It could have worked.
I don't think she can do mean and vicious.
I don't know, but
she's pretty mean and overboard.
She's pretty mean and overboard.
Yeah, that is true.
Elk snout. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've got to be mean to refuse that closet.
Yeah. From sexy Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
We kind of off topic. I watched. Was it not Burglar? It was Fatal Beauty with Whoopi.
So Jumpin' Jack Flash is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Love Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Every time I watch it, I'm always like, I should give Burglar or Fatal Beauty another shot.
You need to come back on for Jumping Jack Flash.
No, you're not missing anything.
I would love it. Yeah,
Jumping Jack Flash, like that character just kind of reminds me of Pete too, with like toys on his desk.
Oh yeah.
And my Reebok high tops.
Yes, I would love to come back for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're gonna do that movie. But yeah, you're right. This I don't know. This I feel like we had this idea of as kids in this 80s like vibe of these comics like coming in to do these movies. But yeah, Scott just watching it and agree, like
I had fun.
Yeah, you had fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And to me too, I revisiting it with him for his first time, I was just like, it's crazy, but like I can appreciate the Zucker aspect of it.
Right.
Like there's like cute Bill Pullman.
I can definitely appreciate that this is not really the type of movie that's made anymore.
Oh no.
I've talked about it on the podcast before that mid-range original comedies aren't really made anymore.
Yeah.
And when they are made, they're usually not successful.
Yeah.
Like it's something like The Spy Who Dumped Me, which I loved, but no one saw.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they usually don't make any money, and studios don't make them. And also, there's not really movie stars like Bette anymore at all. Yeah. Which is disappointing because there's people like who's from Girls Trip?
Amy Poehler.
Girls Trip.
It's Wine Country.
Fucking goddamn it, we can't think of her name right now. Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, like there's actresses like Tiffany Haddish that should have vehicles like this.
Yes,
but they just really aren't given them at all.
I always thought that like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, like they were very much kind of like a Lily Tomlin, Goldie Hawn type of like comedians, and like they should have had like more scripts together like this. Like they should have been doing like an Outrageous Fortune type script. Like,
no, you're absolutely right.
And like like they weren't doing that in the like 2000s. Like,
Yeah.
like if you're going to do a comedy, it's going to be like a low budget thing. It's going to be more indie, and it'll be way more dark than that. Like they wouldn't just have like something as lighthearted.
I mean, I guess we got Sisters.
Sisters is great. I think it's
yeah.
really funny. Yeah.
What's her name? That oh god, I can't think of her name right now. Melissa McCarthy. Like she kind of does that. I can't even think of the name of her movies. Like Identity Thief. Like that's kind of just like when I saw
Spy.
those,
Spy,
Yeah.
identity theft.
I was like, when I see those, I was like, oh my god, if I was 10 and this was on cable,
Sure.
I would
Would
watch
love
this
it.
1,000 times.
It would be
Exactly.
totally my jam. Watching that.
I'm here to tell you that I own Ghostbusters with Melissa McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, and watch it multiple times.
I tried to watch it. It wasn't bad, but I was just sort of like,
I think it's cute, but it harkens back to this idea that you're saying. It was just like these women that, if I was a kid, I would have just been obsessed with this.
yeah.
But yeah,
We'll do the full gauntlet of the Bette Touchstone movies because we have Down Out in Beverly Hills.
Sure.
pretty much all that's left.
And of course, we got to get to Beaches.
Oh, Beaches.
Yeah, so after that, so she does Outrageous Fortune, then like Big Business, and then like I feel like at that point she's like catapulted into like Super.
Yeah.
Starting because she's like with Lily Tomlin, and then actually I've never seen this, but the Oliver and Company, she did a voice.
She's
for
the
that.
she's the
fine.
poodle.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
It's in that awkward time with Disney that they were in their dark 80s period before Little Mermaid.
Oliver and Company came out the same year as Little Mermaid.
It was I think it was
So
the
how
year
about that?
before because Little Mermaid was animated the same time as Rescuers Down Under.
But yeah, but also I kind of feel like we're saying in Down and Out in Beverly Hills, it's really a Richard Dreyfuss movie.
Right.
And even to an extent, you could argue that Outrageous Fortune is kind of a Shelley Long vehicle.
Shelley Long's kind of the protagonist of that movie.
Yeah.
But
she
Big
doesn't-
Business,
Right.
Big Business is all Bet.
Yeah.
It's all she is all over. That.
Yeah, she does even like overshadow Lily Tomlin.
Yeah,
which is,
Lily
like,
Tomlin.
and
Yeah,
so then she does like Beaches,
yeah.
and then it's like then she's just sort of like takes over the world with that
Get
soundtrack
out.
and everything, and like
Introduces the world of Mayim Bialik
yes.
as
Thank God.
as preteen Bette.
I was watching like some of her other like trying to watch some of her like the Bette Midler like one woman show stuff because there's this one from the 80s called like Art or Bust, and like she like kind of wound up doing this like Kate Bush visuals, just all this kind of like performance artist type stuff. And
Okay.
I was reading that she'd married a this performance artist, and then like they did some work together, and then yeah, it's like Klaus Nomi and like Kate Bush stuff. So she's like trying to get like
Oh my God.
finding her oats. And,
That is so interesting.
but then she did this thing for HBO called like Mondo Biondo, and I think I remember seeing this in the 80s, and like it was
That
this,
sounds super familiar.
Sure.
she plays this kind of like very Barbara Stone dressed Italian socialite thing who's like hosting a public access show, and she does a really bad like Italian accent the whole time, and she's presenting these I guess kind of like up and coming New York like performance artists. It's painful. But she got
We'll
an
skip that.
hour-long special from HBO just to do this in like 1988, and I was like, and I think her husband's in it as one of the performers, but I was just sort of like, I don't know. It's like she's a weird one. You can't pin her down. Like she's like kind of doing some,
Yeah.
you know, because going back to like her like in the 70s doing the like bathhouse performances and
Yeah.
like pretty much being taught by drag queens. Like she
Yeah.
very much has like some drag queen humor in her. Like,
Oh, yeah.
throughout,
Yeah.
Like, and like Barbara Stone is a drag queen basically.
Oh my God. Yeah. The whole Divine Miss M like persona.
Yeah.
You know,
Like-
is so drag. Yeah.
I just think that's her career is crazy.
Yeah. That.
And now our big thing is that just sort of celebrity Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean.
So I heard on Race Chaser with Alaskan Willem that Bruce Valanche helps write some of her tweets.
I buy it.
I don't know if that's true, but I buy it though.
I buy that. Yeah. She calls her up and yeah. She needs like a stinger for an award show, she calls him.
Yeah, for sure. The Beaches soundtrack is interesting because, I mean, we get, obviously...
Wind Beneath My Wings.
Get out of here.
We
got Wind Beneath My Wings.
Industry.
But I was going to say,
Actually,
I will just sit down and listen to Industry like nobody's... Like, that's a good song.
If you like Industry, then you should watch her 1983 Art of Best show. Because
Her,
it's very much
her Under the Boardwalk slaps, too.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I also remember, and this is slightly off topic, but it's okay because this is a bet free for all zone. Wind Beneath My Wings comes out. Beaches, huge success. Wind Beneath My Wings, chart topper. Bette Midler is now again in the late 80s, early 90s, like a music powerhouse.
Yeah.
From a distance.
Yeah, she became like Mother Earth. Like,
yes.
and then she was.
Sure, yeah.
And then
From
she
a
did get
distance
involved in like
comes out.
Greenpeace.
Yes, and it was the whole tie-in to the Greenpeace and all of that. From a Distance, good song. But I feel like it was, even at the time, I kind of felt in my waters, I kind of felt like, okay, this is a little bit of a Wind Beneath My Wings kind of a cash grab.
Yeah.
It kind of felt a little bit like we're capitalizing on our I
feel like she
emotions.
goes into like Barbara Streisand territory at that point.
Yes.
She's like very adult, contemporary, like pop stuff. And you're just
Yes.
And I was
Very
sort of
that.
like, okay, I'm not a 40-year-old woman, so me as a 10 or 13-year-old can't keep going on this journey with you, Bette.
Because I had my stepmom's CD of the Beaches soundtrack and my dad's brand new, again, 5-disc CD changer.
Yeah.
But not for not the trunk of his car, in the living room. And just putting it and just being like, this little flat thing has like an hour of music on it.
Look at this beautiful jewel case.
What the hell?
You can see photos when you take
and
out
you open it up,
you take
and
it out and open it.
pictures and lyrics, and just being obsessed with the Beaches soundtrack. But I mean, Bette Midler, God bless her.
She's a treasure.
She launched 1,000 Gay Boys.
Yeah.
She's great.
She helped us. She reeled us in. She helped us realize our true destiny.
Yeah, 80s Bette Midler is just like,
oh my god,
There's nobody like her.
A gift. Yeah.
And you can't compare her to someone like Cher, which I think is so cool. Like, they're so different.
Their public persona is very different.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Scenes from a Mall?
No, I need to track it down though.
It's okay. Like at first I hated it.
I remember Scenes from a Mall, and I just
the whole time I watched it, I'm just like, I want like Bette Midler to dump Woody Allen, leave him in this mall, and just go shopping for herself, and like just watch that movie.
So we'll end up doing a full Beaches episode too.
That's it.
Yeah. We have to do a Beaches episode.
Have you done a tearjerker yet? You're to Titanic, so.
Titanic was like our biggest tearjerker probably thus far.
Yeah, I think so.
But we should probably wrap up our Ruthless People episode, because I mean, sheesh.
Well, Bette definitely made us gay in this episode.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
That weight loss journey.
Yeah, the weight loss journey.
The Memphis Group mansion. So
Yes.
Pete and I just bought our Powerball tickets, and
yes.
when we win, we will be buying this mansion.
Do you have the Powerball or the Mega Millions in Georgia?
Yeah, we do have something. I don't know.
It's $450 million. Go buy a ticket now. They're going to do it on Saturday.
We'll be building our podcast empire in the Ruthless People mansion.
Yes.
We'll build a pool house. You can come live with us.
I'm on my way. COVID be damned.
COVID be damned. Well, you'll be in the pool house. We'll be 6 feet apart from each other. But yeah, I mean, I would fully live in a Ruthless People, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Trapper Keeper, Memphis Group fantasy.
Yeah,
We have to recreate the entire house.
You have to get those pink. Well, now you can. They have the hue light bulbs, but like everybody's house in Ruthless People has pink lighting. Like
yeah, a lot of pink lighting. We'll get Bobby Trendy from the Anna Nicole show.
We're not getting Bobby Trendy.
Don't tease him.
Don't tease poor Bobby Trendy. But we definitely recommend watching this movie. Like we were talking about other Bette movies that are available on other platforms. Ruthless People, you're probably going to have to rent it.
Yeah.
It's not as readily available as
I went to
some of the
Videotech
others.
and rented the Touchtone
You should get
3-pack.
Yeah.
You should just make a lifetime investment of getting the triple feature of Down
Just
Out
buy
Beverly
the triple
Hills.
feature.
Outrageous Fortune, Down Out in Beverly Hills, and Ruthless People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the DVD for probably $7.
I
Yeah,
mean,
listeners-
Criterion, if you're listening,
Oh,
make the Bette Midler Touchstone collection.
Yeah.
yes.
But until then, listeners, you can probably buy it on Amazon for like $8.
Yes.
or rent Ruthless People on Amazon Prime, on Apple Podcasts, not Apple Podcasts, Apple Movies for $3.99. But I definitely recommend watching this movie because
It's
it's
quarantine.
just fun.
It's perfect for quarantine.
Yes, it is.
Especially to
perfect
get you
quarantine
inspired to
movie.
work out more in 2021.
We're gonna drop that COVID-19 20 pounds.
Yeah, and especially with
the
like
COVID 20.
gyms being closed
Yeah.
in California still. I mean, you don't need a gym.
No,
You can make your own exercise bike.
do it.
You can do your crunches on your stairs
You need 2 chairs, a broom, and 2 paint cans.
and 2 pink.
and 2 paint cans. Yeah,
If Barbara
you're good to
Stone
go.
can do it,
You got it.
So
you got
can
a
you.
door. You got a gym.
yeah, yeah. CrossFit be damned. That's my mantra. CrossFit, fuck those guys.
Always.
It's a racket. Oh man, this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, do you
This
want
movie's
to talk a little
amazing.
bit about Slumberground with TCM?
Yes, tell us about it.
Yeah. So Millie, friend of the pod that has been on lots of times. Her and I work together at TCM, and she programs a late night Friday night cult movie double feature block called TCM Underground, and
So good. I tune in all the time.
she covers the gamut, and it's all like it's not just like old school midnight movies. It plays a lot of like 80s like lost cable classics and things like that. So it kind of goes all over the place. And
The stars aligned a few months ago when she programmed Earth Girls Are Easy
yes.
the day that our episode came out.
Yes.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that one got a lot of like traction. But so then like once a month we like pick a movie with 2 of our other coworkers, Matthew and Toya, and we just talk about a movie for about 15 or 20 minutes on YouTube. And so if you search on YouTube for Slumberground, then you can find it.
Awesome. Slumberground, you guys, go look it up. Tons of fun.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
our
you so
show
much.
again.
Yeah.
This was so much fun.
So much fun.
Oh my God, Ruthless People, you guys, we all definitely recommend that you find this movie, track it down. But until then, I think it might be time to say goodbye.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on our show.
See you later, Ben.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Ben.
Yep.
You're welcome. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. And thank you so much for listening, listeners. This was a great episode.
Yeah, it's a good
love
start
it.
to
I
2021.
love it. Yeah.
I've been kind of slacking on programming the schedule.
It's okay.
But I got my shit together, and we have some fun movies and guests coming up.
Yeah, we have a lot of really cool movies coming up for this coming month. We know this last couple of days have been crazy, but, hopefully take a listen to some of our episodes and maybe you can forget about all the nonsense that's going on. But we're still here. We're going to be putting out new episodes every week, and we've got a lot of fun stuff coming for the month of January.
We're doing a fun little science fiction
block.
Yeah.
Cute.
So stay tuned.
I love sci-fi. That's my wheelhouse. But in the meantime, we want to say hello to some of our patrons.
Join us on Patreon and get a little shout out.
We love Patreon patrons. If you would like to find us there, we've got some fun additional content. We'll be recording some new additional content very, very soon. But we'd like to say hello to Jimmy Yauch, Genevieve Thomas, Don McBride, Josh Clement, M. Lamelli, Aaron Bent, Melinda and Jim Shirley, Jessica Torres, John Miller, Nick Thomas, Christine Asher, Rafina Kabang, and Mitch Ralston. Thank you so much for being patrons, everybody.
I just ordered our postcards for patrons, too. So you'll get a movie postcard when you sign up with any level.
If you're a new patron,
I send them out to them all.
If you're a new patron, not to worry. You'll be getting your postcard handwritten from the two of us very, very shortly. And in the meantime, we would love it if you would rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts.
Give us 5 stars.
We'd love it if you give us 5 stars. We would also love it if you would write a good review.
Well, I want some reviews going into 2021.
If you don't like us, get the hell out of here.
I don't want to hear it.
Stop listening. But if you love us, write a good review on Apple Podcasts. It's very easy. It's very free. It gives you points to get to the good place when you give us a good review, and we'll read it on the air. Also, you could find us on Instagram and Facebook at Movies That Made Us Gay.
And also Twitter at MTMUG Pod.
Exactly. You can find me, Pete, on Twitter and Instagram at Peter Lasagna.
And me, Scott Youngballer, on Instagram, and Oscar Scott on Twitter. And also follow me on Letterboxd.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody. This has been a great episode. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.